think there are many ways of describing it. Some call it polycrisis, some call it an era in which foundations in the world are changing. What seems to be clear is that the existing institutions are not perfectly equipped in tackling the challenges we're facing today, whether that's in regard to how we provide care for our citizens, whether it's in regard to how do we actually mitigate and tackle and adapt to the climate crisis, whether it's something completely different. And it makes complete sense because many of the institutions and public institutions that we have are actually built in a very different era. Right now, we need innovation in regard to public institutions, likely more than we've ever have, because many of the challenges go beyond our pre-existing modes for collective action. Well, there are lots of them. Climate being an obvious one. There is constant need to rethink how do we, for instance, engage around issues around heat in urban contexts. As an example, democracy and democratic institutions would be a very apparent one. Democracies tend to thrive through experimentation and innovation and constant iteration in terms of modes of collective action. And if democracies don't function like that, they very easily become stagnant and reactive and easily get attacked against, which is what we see around the world right now. Another example would be care and aging societies. Many societies are moving from growing young populations with a significant share of population in labor to populations and demographics in which actually quite a lot of big segments of the society, one way or the other, need care, which then calls to reinvent how the public institutions providing care work. How do we structure care in a more relational way? So on good examples to come to mind, one is security institutions in Finland, which it's a very ecosystem approach. There is a conceptual agenda, whole society approach to security, and a set of different institutions that mix soft and hard mandates, which is very important because many security-related topics are topics that are not within the boundaries and mandates of any single institution. As an example, cybersecurity. The other example that comes to mind is in the context of care. There's a range of innovation on care in terms of how do you move from transactional to relational care provision models. One concrete example that is well documented but very exciting is Bogota Care Blocks from Colombia, which essentially bundles and pulls together care-related support so that it's available and essentially equipped to fit the lives and livelihoods of the people who need it most. So one take would be that we need to innovate and have options and alternatives, ideas for institutional design and architecture that are tangible enough so that whenever there is that opportunity, whether it's through crisis, whether it's looking at a crisis, that we're able to actually put some concrete suggestions in place and build from there. I also think that this question on why Istanbul Innovation Days is so important is because I sometimes question whether we've lost both our imaginations but also our agency and a sense of belief and self-efficacy on collective action, that we can actually both design. Everyone who's done anything in terms of institutional design or actually trying to get new institutions on the ground in a legitimate and impactful manner knows that it is a bit painful and not always successful activity. So the element of peer support and having collective efficacy is incredibly important. And I think this is what the Istanbul Innovation Days tries to do. Create a space in which we can actually start to believe that we can build new institutions. They can look different. They can be fit for purpose for our time, which is basically how we've done it also in the past.